Now in part 2, we'll check inheritance, overloading, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your host Nazar. This video is part 2 of OOP concept. For part 1 video of OOP concept, please check the I button above or check the link in the description box. Now, let us briefly revise part 1 to get a better understanding of part 2 video. Object-oriented programming approach provides advantage in creating and development of software for real-world applications. The basic element of object-oriented programming is the data. The program are built by combining data member and member function to form a single unit called class. The major characteristics of OOP are object, class, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, overloading, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. Where object are real-world entity. Class is blueprint of object. Data abstraction. Abstraction is a process of showing essential features without showing the background details. Data encapsulation is wrapping up of data member and member function into a single unit is called data abstraction. So these were the 4 characters which we had prepared in part 1. Now in part 2, we'll check inheritance, overloading, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. Firstly, we'll see what is inheritance. Inheritance is the process to inherit attributes and methods, you can say it as data member and member function, from one class to another. We group the inheritance concept into 2 categories. First one, superclass. Second one, subclass. A superclass whose property are inherited by subclass are called as superclass, or it is also known as base class. A subclass, the class that inherits property from another class, is called subclass, also known as derived class. To inherit from a class, usually we use colon symbol, and the class has to be declared under public access specifier. For example, we'll consider 2 classes, that is class A and class B. Class A is the base class and class B is derived class. We can share the properties which includes data member and member function from class A to class B. This process of sharing the properties from one class to another class is known as inheritance. You can also imagine a real-world entity as lion. Lion shares its property to its cub, lion cub. So later, after some days, the lion cub shares the similar properties and behavior as the father does. This kind of sharing property from one class to another class is called as inheritance. Now the next characteristic is overloading. Overloading can be of 2 types. First one, function overloading, and the second one, operator overloading. In this video, we'll learn what is function overloading. 2 or more functions having same name but different in number of arguments or data type of argument is called function overloading. Look at this example of class shape. We have 3 member functions, that is area rectangle, area triangle, and area circle, where all the three shapes has a common member function name, that is area, but parameters or arguments are different. In the first member function, we are discussing or we are calculating the area of rectangle. The second member function, we are calculating area of triangle. The third member function, we are calculating area of circle. Where the parameters are different, like it could be rectangle, triangle, or circle, but the name of the function remains same. If two or more name has similar name, those kind of functions are called function overloading. Basically, two or more functions having same name but different in arguments or different in parameters are known as function overloading. Now, let us check the seventh characteristic of OOP, that is polymorphism. Polymorphism means same entity having many forms. Polymorphism has the ability of a message to be displayed in more than one form in different instants of time. Consider an example where a person at the same time can be father, husband, an employee, a friend, an enemy, etc. Same person plays different role in different instance of time. So this kind of ability of changing the role is known as polymorphism. You can see Benton as changing his form into different forms or characters. In this example, a same person can change himself to different characters as different in different instance of time as a required situation. So this is also a concept of polymorphism. Now let us check the eighth character of OOP, that is dynamic binding. Dynamic binding is a process of connecting one program to another. Connecting one program to another can be as connecting data member to member function, or first member function with the second member function, or from one class to another. Giving a bonding between from one member to another member is known as dynamic binding. And the ninth characteristic of OOP is message passing. Objects communicate with one another by sending and receiving information to each other. Message passing involves specifying the name of the object, the name of the function, and the information to be sent. Once there is a dynamic binding, then it will be very easy for a member function to pass the message to another member function. This process of sending messages from one class to another class, or from one object to another object, or from one member function to another member function is known as message passing. If we consider an example for message passing, an object with the name function overloading passes the message to the member function. Name of the member function is area, and the value to be passed is 5, 6, and 7. That is nothing but information. So this kind of passing message from the main function to the member function comes under message passing, and this is done using the dot operator, which binds from one member function to another member function, or from an object to member function. Binding can be done using dot operator for object to member function, using colon, and also by using scope resolution, which can bind name of the class with member function. Colon is used in case of inheritance and also in specifying access specifier. So these were the overall 9 characteristics of OOP, which we have covered under part A of the video and part B, that is first part and second part of the video. Now let us have a quick recap of part B videos. The first character what we have studied in part B or second part is inheritance. Inheritance is acquiring property from the base class to derived class. Second one is overloading. Two or more functions having same name but differ in the number of arguments or data type of arguments are called overloading. The third property is polymorphism. The ability of a message to be displayed in more than one form are known as polymorphism. The fourth characteristic of OOP is dynamic binding. Binding is the process of connecting one program to another. And the last one, that is fifth characteristic of OOP, is message passing. Objects communicate with each other by sending and receiving information to each other, and this process is known as message passing. These were the complete characteristics of OOP, which we have studied under the concept of OOP. Hope this video was helpful for you. If you have missed the first part of OOP concept, please check the link provided in the I button above and also in the description box. Thank you. If this video has helped you to understand the concept, consider subscribing so that you don't miss upcoming videos. Check in the description as I have given link of other related videos. Thank you.